Welcome to our YouTube channel, where wisdom meets inspiration. In this channel, we share valuable insights to help you become the best version of yourself. Our content is designed to uplift your spirit and enrich your life. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay connected with this incredible journey. Click the subscribe button below.
ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरे सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। So the topic is the joy of being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. Just today, before we started with our Antaryoga, many of us were in the temple, and there the Ashtottara Shatanama of Sri Ramakrishna was being uttered. And it was uttered in those 108 names, Om Shri Ananda Murtaye Namaha. Sri Ramakrishna was referred to be the Ananda Murti. Our Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi, she says to a devotee that, she says, I have never seen Sri Thakur with a long face. He was always smiling. We have a few pictures of Sri Ramakrishna, and especially if we go and see the first picture that was taken in Kamalakutir, the house, the residence of Keshav Chandra, and there we find Sri Ramakrishna standing, he is in ecstasy, and there are certain photographs of that picture where we have a close-up of Sri Ramakrishna's face, and we can really see that wonderful divine smile. There was a devotee who once came and saw Sri Ramakrishna in Samadhi, and then he came with another person. And then he says, I have seen other people who say that they are spiritual, but their faces are always so stern and so grave, as if they have some problem and difficulty in smiling. And when he came to Sri Ramakrishna, he found Sri Ramakrishna was full of joy. And when we refer to the reminiscences of the devotees, and especially when we read through the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, we find it's like a festival of fun. Sri Ramakrishna is talking about very deep spiritual matters. But often they end up with, in Bengali they say, Shokoler Hasho, all laugh. At the end of the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, there is, in the appendix, there is a reminiscence by Ashwini Kumar Datta. And there, Ashwini Kumar Datta, he is writing to Master Mahashaya Mahendranath Gupta, Shri M, about his only once he visited Sri Ramakrishna in Dakshineshwar and how he felt. And there, he is talking about another holy man. And there, Ashwini Kumar, he tells Sri Ramakrishna that, you know about that holy man? And then he says, yes, I know about him. And Sri Ramakrishna says, how do you find him? And Ashwini Kumar tells, oh, he is very intelligent. And then Sri Ramakrishna amusingly asks, and what about me? And Ashwini Kumar puts a very interesting adjective for Sri Ramakrishna. He says, with you, there is a lot of fun. Here there is a lot of fun with you. So a devotee of Ramakrishna, a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, is actually a person who is always immersed in the joy of spiritual joy in this life. If we go to our scriptures, we will see that the ultimate truth that we call the Brahman, the Atman, the absolute, it is described by the adjectives, by the lakshana, its Swarupa lakshana, is that it is Sat, it is Chit, and it is Ananda, Satchitananda. If we translate it into the popular words in English, it is absolute existence, absolute knowledge, and absolute bliss. If we try to understand it a bit, we'll find that this Sat Chit Ananda is not only talking about that transcendental truth, but it is talking about us also. And there, when it is talking about us, it is telling that one of our Swarupa, what we really are, is this manifestation of being a very joyous being. And that is really what is the characteristic of a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. The avatara, he comes again and again to revive religion. Swami Saradanandaji writes in his magnum opus, the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna Lila Prasanga, that avatar, who is avatara? God comes in a human form, he is called avatara, and God comes in a human form so that human beings like us can follow his footsteps and we can become God. God comes as a human being so that human beings like us can really follow his footsteps, in a way imitate him, and then we can really know, manifest and assert that godness, that divinity that is in us. Sri Ramakrishna happens to be that Yoga Avatara. And when we look at him, we will see that in this world which we call samsara, which in many ways our scriptures say that it is full of sorrow, it is full of sadness, Sri Ramakrishna again and again he reiterates. Yes, if we look at it in a secular way, yes, this world is transitory. This world will give us various experiences of sadness and sorrow. But when we look at it from a spiritual viewpoint, we will find that this world itself is a mirth of unending joy. In the Upanishads, we find the parable or the story of the two birds. There is a tree, there are two birds. One bird is sitting at the top. There is another bird which is sitting on a branch which is a bit lower branch. And the bird up there is immersed in his Swarupa, in its bliss. And the bird down there, it's tasting various fruits available in the branches of the tree. Some of the fruits are sweet, it's enjoying them. Some of the fruits are not sweet, they're bitter, they're sour, and it's not enjoying them. And whenever through these various experiences of enjoyment and sorrow, now and then that bird which is perched on the lower branch, it is looking at the bird which is perched on the higher branch, and this bird which is on the lower branch is saying, oh, that one on the upper one, it is really always immersed in the bliss of its Swarupa. When we talk about the Ananda, the happiness, the joy of a devotee or a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, we are really not referring to this joy or happiness that people get from this outside world. You see, today is a Sunday, and then after a long week, many of the people, they have different plans for the Sundays. They'll have a long sleep, they will go to the relatives' houses, they will go for outings in the city, and this and that. But today, many of us, we have come and gathered in our Ramakrishna Mutt, Mangaluru. This is a different kind of joy that we have tested, and we know the real test of it, and we want to come and test it again and again. It is called Shamasukha. In the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamritos, Sri Thakur mentions it as Bhajanananda, the joy of really coming in touch with divinity in a very palpable way. And that is the characteristic of a devotee. The devotee, the bhakta, wants to taste sugar. He does not want to become a sugar. And it is said that The devotee, that is the goal of a devotee. The devotee will always cherish to really have this joy of having the experience of being in communion with the devotee's God in one way or the other. We may remember Sri Ramakrishna, after all his sadhana, after all his experiences, after all his anubhuti, he prays to the Divine Mother. I'll tell in Bengali, Ma, amai shutke sadhu korishni. Oh mother, don't make me a dry monk. And says, Ma amake roshe boshe rakhish. Ma amake, to me, roshe is rasa, enjoy. And he puts a very interesting matching word with rasa. He says, Amake roshe boshe rakish. Rasa is ananda. And boshe comes from the word vash, that you keep me in control. He refers to the shamasukh actually. Oh mother, give me the joy, but not the joy that people look for in the world, which we call the freedom of the senses. We do whatever we like and we say, oh, this is the joy of human life. No, the religious joy, the spiritual joy is not freedom of the senses, it is freedom from the senses. And in Sri Ramakrishna's life, we see that Sri Ramakrishna again and again, the joy that he is referring is the inner joy. And that is the joy of a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. When we open the pages of the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, in English, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, M, a man of the world, and he is going through a very trying time. And he has come out of his house where he was staying with his father. He had a fight with his father. And he has come out with his wife, and he is staying in the house of one of his cousins. And the cousins also have given him a hint. Okay, you're in a problem. We are going to help you. You can stay in our house, but not for long. And with all these bitter experiences of life, M has decided to end his life, commit suicide. He's up to here with all the bitter experiences of life, with all the sorrows of samsara. And one of his friends says, there is a garden, a temple garden by the Ganges at Dakshineshwar. Would you like to visit? And he said, okay, let me go and visit it. And he goes there, and then he sees that Sri Ramakrishna, he goes to Sri Ramakrishna's room, and there he sees that Sri Ramakrishna is sitting on a cot and he's talking with the devotees. And M says, oh, this place seems to be so wonderful, a totally new experience, a totally new joy, a totally new phase of life he experiences. And he says that, okay, let me see where I have come. Let me have a bit of a stroll around the garden, and then I'll come back again. And all through the pages of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we find M is coming back again and again, again and again, again and again. And what is attraction? That attraction, the spiritual joy which he found in the words and in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. When we read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, then we find it is full of joy. It is not dry things. It is not just like any other scriptures where we only have the do's and the don'ts, where we only have very specifically the teachers talking us about what we should do in spiritual life. We have wonderful parables there. Very abstruse truths about spiritual life. Sri Ramakrishna puts it in a very simple way through the stories. We have wonderful parables. And after many of the parables, we find, the devotees who were listening to them, they all laugh. So all those parables, but they're not really parables which are based on day-to-day jokes. They're talking about spiritual truths. For example, the parable of Keshava Keshava, Gopala Gopala, and Hari Hari Hara Hara. You might be knowing about that. And he is talking with Bankim Chandra. And then Bankim Chandra says, you could come to our place. We also are devotees. And Sri Ramakrishna says, oh, do you say that you are devotees? What kind of devotees you are? Keshava Keshava. And then he tells that story. I hope you all are acquainted with that story. He says that there were some people who were running a shop, and then people would visit that shop, and they would always utter the names of God. Keshava Keshava, Gopala Gopala, Hari Hari Hara Hara. And people would think, oh, these people are so holy people, always uttering the names of God. And people will come to their shop, buy things from them. But actually, these shopkeepers, they were hoodwinking the customers. And when someone would come, then one of them would say, Keshava Keshava, the name of Sri Krishna. But because the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita is original in Bengali, that word has a different pun in it. And it's Keshava Keshava. In Bengali, they are asking, Keshab, who are they? And the other one is saying, Gopala Gopala. And the ones they think, oh, he is uttering the name of Sri Krishna, Gopala Gopala. But he is meaning Gopala. Oh, these people who have come to our shop, I see they are all like, herds of cows. They look fools. They look like fools. Gopala Gopala. And the other one is saying, oh, then he's asking, Hari Hari. And again, it sounds like the name of God, but what he is meaning is actually Hari Hari. So can we rob them? And then the other one is saying Hara Hara, the name of Shiva, but it has got a pun. And he's saying, yes, of course, go ahead, let's rob them. So with these various parables, pages after pages, we turn the pages and we see Sri Ramakrishna is telling these wonderful parables. This is the joy of being a devotee of the Yuga Avatara. The very abstruse, the very difficult spiritual truths that often we really find it really quite being a challenge to bring it out from the scriptures. The Avatara comes and puts it in a very simple way, very understandable way, and we all can really understand the abstruseness, the real meaning of these abstruse truths of the scriptures. Not only stories, we find wonderful songs. Sri Ramakrishna, now and then, he is singing songs. And in our tradition, still those songs are sung by us. Just for example, Narendranath, he has gone to Dakshineshwar and he wants Sri Ramakrishna to help him so that how he can solve the problem of poverty of his family. Sri Ramakrishna sends him to the divine temple, to the temple of the Divine Mother. And then Narendranath has the vision of the living mother. And then Narendranath comes back and he asks Sri Ramakrishna, Amake Mayar Gan Shikhedin, please teach me a song of the mother. And Sri Ramakrishna teaches him Ma Tong Hitara. He teaches a song, Ma Tong Hitara. And then Narendranath sings it all through the night. All through the night he sings it, hours after hours. And in the morning, he is sleeping. Some other devotees have come. Sri Ramakrishna is pointing to the sleeping Narendranath and says, oh, Narendranath is accepted by Mother. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, yesterday he had the vision of the living mother. He came to me and told me, please teach me a song of the Divine Mother. And I taught him this song. He sang this song all through the night. And when we, who are the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, we sing those songs, and as if we ourselves, through the eyes of a spiritual mind, we reach to those moments, and as if we enter those scenes and become a part of it. It is itself like a very fruitful, very living, very palpable, very tangible meditation. We have the dances. We find, Sri Ramakrishna is not only sitting, like as I am sitting. I'll not dance after all. But as I'm sitting, I'm sitting on a chair and then I'm talking to you, all are sitting. We find, the devotees who came to Sri Ramakrishna, suddenly they're just into rapturous dancing. And What a wonderful joy it would have been. And they just didn't dance because they wanted to dance, In a place, Sri Ramakrishna, he was not well, and he had gone to a devotee's house, and then the devotees, they gathered, they sang songs, but they didn't dance. And then Sri Ramakrishna is asking Ramachandra Datta, the householder devotee, how come you all didn't dance today? And he says, you see, we are monkeys. The monkeys don't dance just by themselves. It's the one who is the owner of those monkeys, who plays those game of the monkeys, he has to make them dance. He says that Badorwala, the one who owns the monkey, he has to make them dance. You did not dance, how can we dance? And all these descriptions are there, not only stories, not only songs, not only dance. And we find Sri Ramakrishna now and then, Muhur Muhu, is going into Samadhi. And the descriptions that we get of Sri Ramakrishna's Samadhi are the moments that describe the deepest joy that one can get. A direct communion with the divine. And when we read the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, there are two main books. One is the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, the Sri Ramakrishna Leela Prasanga, written by his direct monastic disciple, Swami Saradanandaji. And another is the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, which is the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And I remember, a senior monk once told me, if you read the Leela Prasanga, you stand in awe of Sri Ramakrishna. Oh, who is this person? He doesn't seem to be only a sadhaka. He doesn't seem to be only a siddha. He doesn't seem to be, a great holy man. He seems to be God in a human form. And Swami Saradanandaji, philosophically, he really proves it. You can't deny it. But in a way, Leela Prasanga keeps us in awe of Sri Ramakrishna. We fall in love with Sri Ramakrishna when we read this Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. That is a book, I remember, when I became a monk 23 years ago, I had not read any book, not a single book I had read, but I had read only Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. And I didn't know who is Rakhal, who is Ramchandra, who is Man, nothing I knew. But at my home, now and then, from my father's cupboard, I would take that book and I would just read. And I would enjoy reading, just the joy of reading that, without understanding anything. These words of Sri Ramakrishna gives us tremendous joy. And that is the joy of being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. If we just, trying to discuss the various aspects of this joyous life we have, when we think of the avatara, there are various aspects of it. His nama, his rupa, and his tirtha. Then there is the shastra, and then there is the leela. The name of Sri Ramakrishna, when we have the homa of Sri Ramakrishna, when we are offering the oblations to Sri Ramakrishna, in following the Vedic heritage, the mantra that we utter is Om Aim Sarva Deva Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Swaha. This philosophy of Sri Ramakrishna being the Sarva Deva Devi is really, it makes him all-encompassing. Swami Vivekananda, in one of his letters to Swami Ramakrishna-Nandaji, Shashi Maharaj, he writes regarding, and it is really, when I read it, I found it revolutionary. Maybe some of us, may not really accept it wholeheartedly, but at the end, that is what Sri Ramakrishna stands for. Sri Ramakrishna is someone who even crosses the boundaries of religion, culture, nation, language, whatever we can put a tag into it. Sri Ramakrishna, he really crosses that boundary. Swamiji writes, the original letter is in Bengali, in English it is translated, regarding Sri Ramakrishna's religion, let the Hindus call it Hinduism and others call what they want. Again, I'll repeat, regarding Sri Ramakrishna's religion, let the Hindus call it Hinduism and others call what they want. All these isms that humanity has put on this, the truth that Sri Ramakrishna represents are again man-made things. Sri Ramakrishna is veritably the example of one who has really, not only by his thought, but by his life itself, who has crossed all these boundaries. Let me share an example. I was for long years serving in our center at Rajkot in Gujarat. And there once an invitation came, and there is a dargah of a Musalman Peer, and they have an annual celebration, and there a lot of the Muslims, they will gather there. And they gave an invitation, and in the invitation there are names of everyone who is quite a name in the town of Rajkot. Religious people, non-religious people, political people, industrial people, and all the people who are established personalities of the society, their names are there. It was a huge invitation card with a lot of details. We were also invited. And the program was at 10 o'clock at night. So I asked, our Adhyaksha Maharaj, Swami Nikhileshwaranandaji he said, see, harmony of religions is what Sri Ramakrishna has taught. So he asked me, you please go there. So I went there, and there were all the Muslim people all around. And literally speaking, I could not see anyone whose name was in the invitation card. It was only me who had gone at 10 o'clock there. It was only me. The others had put their names, but they didn't come. And the ceremony is that they will all go together and they will put a chadar, a decorated, embroidered blanket on that samadhi of the Peer. And then, someone asked me that, Swamiji, will you come? And then they had, they were having a bit of debate in between them. Some think that Swamiji should come. And something, no, how can Swamiji come? He's a Hindu monk, you don't bother Swamiji. Then I went with him. And then we did that. Then I sat on the dais with them. And it went on as the programs go. It was 11 o'clock at night. And generally our tradition is after the sunset, we don't really stay outside the ashrama. And I was really dying to come back to the ashrama. And so I asked him, see, I have never stayed outside the ashrama at 11 o'clock at night. Can I please leave now? And then the main organizer, with folded hands, he said, Swamiji, today's program is mainly for the harmony of religions. You see all these people who promised to come, none of them have come. You were sitting on the dais. You are the only example that we can put in front of people that yes, harmony of religions is not something we talk about. We can really sit together and we can share our brotherhood, crossing the boundaries of religion. So yes, a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna really is able to cross these boundaries. A devotee of Sri Ramakrishna being established in his or her own cultural and spiritual heritage can really cross these boundaries when there is a need. And these are just not, modern practices that we are bringing to connect to more and more people. It is not that. Harmony of religions is really something which is a truth for ages followed in this land called Bharatavarsha. We have the saying in the Rig Veda, Ekam Sad Vipra Bahudha Vadanti. And we find endless examples in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, Srimati Sarada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda. Swami Premanandaji, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, was at Puri, and there was a Christian British preacher who was standing just in front of Sri Sri Jagannatha temple at Puri. And then he was criticizing Hinduism. People were listening, but they didn't have the guts to oppose him or stop him from criticizing Hinduism in such a holy place. Premanandaji, he went there, he saw him saying such things, and then Premanandaji suddenly he uttered Haribol, Haribol. And we have it inside, as soon as he uttered Haribol, all the people, they started to chant Haribol, Haribol, and suddenly the Christian preacher, he was out of its wits. He really couldn't continue his speech. He ended it, he got down, he left. A very successful thing. What a wonderful thing. Standing in such a holy place, he was criticizing Hinduism. But again, maybe Sri Ramakrishna's ways are even deeper. He really crosses all these isms and takes us to that place where we really need to go in today's world. That is, we really go to that point of spirituality where everyone can come and meet and shake hands together, and this world can really become one world of one humanity. Sri Ramakrishna appears to Swami Premanandaji that night in his dream, and he scolds Premanandaji. And what he says, why did you disrupt his speech? And he says, he was talking about me only. He says that he was talking about me only. That man was talking about Christ. He was talking about me only. Why did you disrupt his speech? And then he tells, tomorrow get up early in the morning, find him out and apologize to him. This is really what the world needs today. Maybe, we are not prepared, the society is not prepared, but yes, the devotee of Sri Ramakrishna has this joy of being able to communicate with one and all, standing on that spirituality which really crosses the boundaries of all these kinds of ism. We also have a photograph of Sri Ramakrishna. Holy Mother, she praises all the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna. She uses the word in Bengali, Shyana. Shyana means clever. She says, oh, the devotees of present times, they seem to be very clever. They have very intelligently taken a photograph of Sri Ramakrishna. And Holy Mother says, of which other avatara do we have a photograph? We really do not know how Sri Rama looks like. We really do not know how Sri Krishna looks like. We really do not know how Buddha looks like. We really do not know how Sri Adi Shankaracharya looks like. Do we know how Sri Ramakrishna looks like? Yes, exactly we know. Exactly. We have got his pictures. And Holy Mother says, oh, they are so intelligent. The joy of a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna when he is meditating on his or her Ishta, when a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna is meditating on Sri Ramakrishna, he really knows exactly how Sri Ramakrishna looks like. Not only this, we have the Tirtha. We have the Tirthas associated with Sri Ramakrishna. Some days ago, I went to Dakshineshwar. Now we have a center there. A mutt has come up there. Such a news of great joy. And then I went to the Dakshineshwar temple, and then I went to the veranda just outside Sri Thakur's room, that small veranda, and there, like every brick, every dust has so many memories, and if they could speak, they could tell so many things to us. And that day I went and I was sitting in the veranda, I was doing the japa, and in the corner, there were, just if you enter through a veranda in this side, in front of the Nahavat, and there are two windows and there is a door. So I was sitting by the side of that window. There was another devotee who was sitting by the side of this window, and he was reading the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita. And he was reading loudly. And he reads, and when I could hear him, luckily he was reading off a portion from the Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita where there is a scene that happened in that room. And he's reading, Sri Ramakrishna is in his little room at Dakshineshwar. We all read it. But the thing is that, we have got places where these things exactly happened. And then the devotee reads like that, Sri Ramakrishna is sitting in his little room at Dakshineshwar. And then he looks through the window and is really staring at the room like that, It's no more an imagination for him. And then I look at him and I really, like his expressions. So I stop my japa and I'm just looking at him. And then he says, Sri Ramakrishna is sitting on his little cot. And then again he stops. And then again, just like that he's, looking at that cot. I'll not say he's seeing Sri Ramakrishna there, but that cot is there. And then with our devotion, we can go to any level of deeper meditation. And then, and I was actually seeing the joy of that devotee, each line he's saying, and then he reads, Sri Ramakrishna, and then he's reading. Then Sri Ramakrishna, he burst into a song. And then he reads that song, and then again he's looking at that. Not only this, every place is Dakshineshwar, Kamarpukur, Jairambati. We are so lucky. We are so lucky to have the Rupa of Sri Ramakrishna in its real form. We are so lucky to have all these places, the Tirthas, in their real form. Exactly there. Long ago, I went to Nasik, and then someone said, you can see the Panchavati. I don't know if you have gone to Nasik, Panchavati. And there, Ravana came and he kidnapped Ma Sita, etc. And I was wondering, I'll see Panchavati. Oh my God. It is a 100% marketplace bustling with all kinds of activity. And you really find a full-grown big tree there, speak aside of any kind of Panchavati. I could not really work on any of my imaginative powers to really connect that Panchavati of the Ramayana to this place. We really don't get those places. A devotee of Sri Ramakrishna has that. And we have his words. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, there are only 2 scriptures, I think, where we find Shri Bhagavana Uvacha. These are the words of the Lord himself. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, but again, it is written in Sanskrit. It is about the deep spiritual truths. But Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, it is written in the language we speak. I speak, you speak. The language we speak at home, that language. So we are so fortunate. The devotee of Sri Ramakrishna has as if endless aspects to really enjoy this joy of being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. And at the end, his Leela. Swami Chaitanyanandaji, he in his article, one of his articles, Meditation on Sri Ramakrishna, he tells, you are struggling to meditate and you are struggling to utter your mantra for a long time. He said, I'll tell you a technique. He said, do one thing. Let's go to Kamarpukur. You have seen Kamarpukur? Yes. And now if we have not seen, we have the pictures, we have the videos and all those things. And he said, okay, so here mentally you are at Kamarpukur, sit in front of Sri Ramakrishna's temple at Kamarpukur. This is the exact place where our Sri Thakur was born. And adoring him, repeat your mantra 108 times. Okay, bored a bit, get up. Take a walk mentally and go to that place where he studied as a little child in the Pathshala of Sri Ramakrishna. Sit there and just 108 times you repeat his mantra. And then you go to the mango orchard of Manikraj. You go there, you go here, and maybe by the time you have visited mentally all the places associated with the Leela of Sri Ramakrishna, then maybe you have uttered the mantra 1,000 times. Want to continue more? Let's go to Jairambati. Want to continue more? Let's go to Dakshineshwar. Want to continue more? Let's go to Belur Math. Wants to continue more? Let's go to Sri Ramakrishna Math, Mangaluru. Let's sit in the temple. Let's sit wherever we have our holy associations. And by the time we have finished this Leela Chintana, we will see we have uttered the Ishta Mantra so many times. And with these slow practices, slowly, maybe we will be able to have developed that concentration which our Guru has told us to reach, so that we can just concentrate on the Nama. Only 5 minutes are left. I will end with mentioning about a lottery that all the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna have got. We all have got a lottery. And this lottery, only we devotees of Sri Ramakrishna has got. In the history of the spiritual history of the world, no one has this lottery, this gift, and that is our Holy Mother. In Christianity, in Catholic religion, we have Mary as the Mother of God. But then again, she has not really manifested herself as God himself, Mary is a saint of saints. But here we find Sri Sarada Devi as if the other side of the divine coin, of which the other side is Sri Ramakrishna. In this age, when maybe the Shanta Bhava, the Dasya Bhava, the Sakya Bhava, the Vatsalya Bhava, the Madhura Bhava, all these bhavas that we find in the scriptures, we may find it a bit difficult. Sri Ramakrishna gives us a new bhava, the Santana Bhava, and he says it is a very Shuddha Bhava. All through the daily hustles and bustles of our life, if we really know, as the Holy Mother really says herself, Bhabbe ar keu na thak tomar ekjon ma achen. Remember, if you do not have anyone, you have a mother. When I went to Jairambati, Jairambati, just you enter to the ashrama, and there is a gate, and just over the gate there is the photograph of the Holy Mother. She is sitting like that, and there is a wonderful saying, and I think just you read that and you have this tremendous joy of having someone, and if that one is with you, then you do not really care for everything. The entire life, it reaches its fulfillment. And it is written there in Bengali, Bhoy ki baba, ami ma thakte bhoy ki. Says that, oh my child, what is there to fear? I am there, your mother. And if I am there, what is there to fear? In the scriptures we read that the divine power, the Para Prakriti, is also called the Mahamaya. And the scriptures tell us that she, with her power of that Maya, she has really enchanted the entire world. We look at the world outside and we see that yes, the world is as if enchanted with this world bewitching power of the Divine Mother, which we called Maya. Swami Nikhilanandaji, in a place, he gives a wonderful example. He says, have you seen a tigress? And have you seen her canine teeth? They're big, they're strong. And with those strong, sharp canine teeth, the tigress can really attack an animal and tear off the skin and the flesh. She can do it. She has such power in that teeth. The same tigress, when she gives birth to a tiger cub, and with the same mouth with that canine teeth, she will hold the tiger cub, newborn, soft like a cotton, and she will just take the tiger cub, hanging like that from here to there, from there to here, on the treetop, or, down there on the grass. And if we get hold of that newborn tiger cub, we may harm it. But the mother, the tigress, with that strong mouth, when she will hold the tiger cub, later you will see not a scratch has come. That is the lottery we have got. The power which the scriptures say has enchanted the entire world, that power has come as our Holy Mother. Being the mother, being Sri Ramakrishna Bhakta Janani, as if, she has hidden the destructive power of her Maya, and she has manifested her Karunamayi Rupa. So, that is the joy of being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. And at the end, I'll just, end by sharing it. We are very lucky. I don't know what we have done. When we look at ourselves, we do not find any credentials that we really deserve all this grace of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sarada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. But there is a responsibility on us. It is written, Atmana Mokshartham Jagat Hitayacha. We who are the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, who have tested this wonderful divine joy, and we know that our mother is there. We just have to wait for our liberation. As we live our life as a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, we are like Jivana Mukta. We enjoy that joy of spiritual life in this very life. And when we go, as Holy Mother says, Sri Sri Thakur has made Ramakrishna Loka for us, we all will go there and be under their refuge. But before we go there, as long as we are here, we have a responsibility given by us. As we enjoy this joy of being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, the responsibility that is on us is to share this joy with one and all. Wherever you are, in whichever locality, in whichever institution, be a lamp of this spiritual light of Sri Ramakrishna. Share it with more and more people, whosoever you meet, and let us spread this joy of being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna to one and all. At the end, I pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sarada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda that they give us that grace, that inner insight, so that we can really find out this joy of being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, enjoy it to the full brim, and spread it with one and all. Today is one of those joyous days, Antaryoga day of Ramakrishna Mutt, Mangaluru. I pray and wish that today you have a wonderful day of the joy of being a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Become Swami Vivekananda's messenger. Share the video with 3 of your friends.